Look at this beauty. Hey, what you doing? Beautiful, ain't it? Beautiful red.
What a lovely color.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know. Here we are in wonderful India. Look at these monsoon rains.
Where's my bag?
Look at that. Look at all that greenery. This is beautiful. We're at this wonderful resort, Mirabelle, here in Mumbai, India, or Bombay. And this is a beautiful place. And look at this greenery. But rain or no rain, it's the rain that makes it fun. This is part of nature.
The rain, so I'm getting wet. You are using an umbrella.
Oh, well, you got your wind cheater.
Well.
See, we both doing good. Oh, look at this. We about to have a good time.
See, I don't even have my shoes on. See?
Oh, well, that's good.
This is the way it should be.
And plus, you got your new sandals, too, if you wanted your feet out.
No.
See, I'm surprised you even brought the shoes. Namaste.
नमस्ते
आप कैसे हो?
मैं ठीक हूँ आप कैसे हो
मैं ठीक हूँ. मैं ठीक हूँ.
ठीक हूँ
मैं ठीक हूँ. आपसे मिलकर खुशी हुई.
आपसे मिलकर अच्छा लगा
खाना किया.
हाँ खाना खाया
खाना खाया.
खाया
This is Elitam Elamine, Breatharian. And today we're going to talk about the Breatharian Demiurge. And here I am in wonderful India. And right now I'm in the tree house. Oh yeah, look at this. And this is down below. This is a big tree I'm in. And as you can see, it goes up even further. But this is how the tree house looks. They built it up here on a tree. And this is awesome. It's good to be in places where you see so much uniqueness. And it's all around the planet because we're unique creatures everywhere us humans go. Now today we're going to talk about the Demiurge. And for people who don't know what the Demiurge is, it's an ancient mythology where there's a group of beings who actually created this world. Yes, I said it. A group of beings created this world. Now, demi means small, so basically they're saying they're small gods. There's gods with an S that created this world. Not the source creator God like that. Not the source, but a group of beings who came from the source who actually created this world is responsible for it. But when you see the Demiurge knowledge, it's basically in the Gnosis knowledge or the Gnostics. But the Gnostics talked about the Demiurge being a group of evil beings, or they didn't have our favor on their mind at all. So they created this world, and it kind of got us in bondage on how the Gnostic teachings teach it. However, you got to keep in mind that when you deal with ancient knowledge, it just isn't in one source. There's other sources that talks about the Demiurge, but they're just under different names. Now, the Gnostics is talking about this group of beings, this group of small gods, you understand, that created this world as being evil. But when you go into the Hindu scriptures, they're talking about Brahman or Brahma, but that's also talking about the Demiurge for those who understand the terminology, who's responsible for creating this world. But it's on a good note. And we'll get into that more. So you hear one being's talking about the Demiurge as being evil, But now they're cloaked under another name through the Hindu talking about Brahman, and he's being good that created this world. But then when you go into the Christian terminology, where they talk about Yahweh, or the Jewish terminology that created this world, they pull both aspects out of it. Because there's a saying that says, one man's God is another man's devil. Here we go now. So when you look at the Yahweh of the Bible and the Torah, on one aspect, he's with a group of people, he's good to them, but to everybody else, you know, he has a chosen people, but everybody else is bad. But all of these different aspects are still talking about the same group of beings, just through different perceptions of thought. Now, does this really exist? Is somebody or a group of beings really responsible for creating this world that we live in? And if so, do they still exist, or did they just create it and disappear? But as we unfold this knowledge, we're bringing it to you now to show you, okay, it might be a group of beings who's responsible for creating this world, and they still exist today. And this will be good to know, because if they still exist today, maybe we could step to them and say, could we create something else? Why not? Or hold them accountable for the things that we don't like that's been created. But we'll never know if we don't tap into it to see who the demiurge is, these small gods. And even though that's the word, small gods, if they created this world, that's a lot of power. Now keep in mind, let's dig deeper. Now the demiurge through the mythology were created by Sophia, a female personage named Sophia. She created the demiurge. But the demiurge created another group called the archons. Uh-oh. Now, what did this got to do with the Breatharian thought? Because if the Breatharian thought comes back on the scene, it's a thought process of unity and oneness. So what the Breatharian thought is saying, that the archons, the demiurge, and Sophia are all the same being. There is no in-between. And if they're the same being, the source or the creator God that we said in the beginning that the demiurge is not, it is the source, because all things come from the source, or it wouldn't even have the authority. So the source, the creator God, or the one responsible for this creation, the demiurge, the archons, and don't forget about Sophia, who gave birth to the demiurge, are all one being, just coming at it different perceptions so you can know what we're talking about. Man, we try to make some sense of this. So the demiurge, the small gods, was created by Sophia. And Sophia means wisdom. And that's where the word philosophy comes from. Philo means love, and Sophia means wisdom, philosophy. That's the love of wisdom. So what we're saying is, it's not a female like that with the female body. We got to get out of that gender stuff like that. We're talking about straight up energies. We're talking about a female aspect, and a female aspect of an energy represents wisdom, and that's the application of knowledge. Now, when we say the application of knowledge, it don't mean if it's good or bad. See, on some things we say the application of proper knowledge where you really want to grow with wisdom. But now we're taking even that out. Because when you're dealing with energy on a higher planes of thought, it don't look at what's good or what's evil. That's what we do. So when we look at Sophia, this female personage that actually created this world was created with some wisdom. It was created with the application of some high-level knowledge. Now notice I said high level. I don't mean good or evil again. Now let's go to Brahman, what the Hindus were saying. And I said the Brahman is the demiurge, but it's through their thought. Now there's a story where Shiva jumped on Brahman, or Brahma. Shiva jumped on Brahma. Why? Because how the myth goes, Lord Shiva was sitting all alone. In other words, the source, the creator God. And one day it said, let me create a creation. And let me create a creature that's one with the creation. But in doing so, to bring another aspect of itself, that's what Brahma came out of Shiva, to go create the creation. So as Brahma is creating the creation, creating the world, and creating the beings to go along with the world, he is so proud of himself because it know it done a great job. It's perfection. So it came back proud and said, I'm done with the creation and I am proud of my work. So Shiva said, good, let me go see your work. So Shiva checked out the world and checked out the creatures who's in the world. And when he came back to Brahma, he was furious and he jumped on Brahma. And Brahma said, what you jumping on me for? He said, why would you create a world like that has so much pain and so much suffering? Why would you do something like that? But Brahma said, what are you talking about? The world is beautiful. It's perfect. Let me show you. So he showed him the perception on what he created. And Shiva said, okay, the world is perfect. It is beautiful. But why would you create some creatures like that who bring us so much pain and suffering? But Brahma said, no, they're perfect too. Let me show you. But it's how they're using the energies. The world is perfect. And those creatures I created is perfect. And it's talking about us. But it's how they're using the energies that's making it out of harmony. That's making it suffering. That's making it unperfect. So now Shiva understood. Okay. Now that's going into the Hindu terminology. And the Gnosis just go out and say the Demiurge are evil. Now let's put them both together. So these creatures who's in the world, who's causing the pain and suffering of creation, is the Demiurge. And the Demiurge is us. I'm the Demiurge. You're the Demiurge. The world is perfect, and we are responsible for creating it. We're the small gods. We're the creators of this creation. The source energy, we are the source energy. But we're the source energy broken up in, like they say in esoteric thought, into monads. You know, we're split up, but we're still one and the same. But we are responsible as group entities of creating this creation, creating this reality. But as we became dense, that's why we talk about the fall of consciousness, we started to create havoc in this creation. We're the Demiurge. But as you see writers and speakers talk about the Demiurge today, we're good at always trying to blame somebody else. We blame aliens. We blame other entities. But there's nobody to blame when you start taking full responsibility. That's why the advent of the Breatharian knowledge is here. The advent of the Breatharian knowledge is to bring you back into the unity thought process, because that's the only way you're going to be sustained. Because you can't be sustained because you're the creator of this world, which is perfect. You're the creator of yourself, which is perfect. And you're the creator of your reality. So you should be able to sustain yourself when you gain back to the responsibility to find out who you are. You are the Demiurge, the small god. There's no in between. You are one with the source. So you and the source are one. You are actually God. Now, who are the archons? The Demiurge created the archons. The archons are the institutions. Now, let's make it make sense. In Greek thought, the archons was the aristocrats, the aristocracy, people in power, people who had leverage, a group of them. And they were able to take the power from the king. Because the king, one person trying to rule all of this, the creation, is a bad idea. This creation is too vast for one person to have all the power to just call all the shots. So there's a group of people who have power who all get together. That's what we call our aristocrats, our aristocracy. They're the ones who create the institutions. And it's not just from ancient times, it's all the way today. Let's take President Donald Trump. You know in your right mind, and not only Donald Trump, not to pick on him, the American empire is too vast for one person to get voted in and to have all that power to run the whole place and know everything that's going on. That's impossible, just to do it in 4 years. You see where I'm getting at? That's why we vote people in, and that's just a voice or a spokesperson for people who's already in power, that you don't see this off the scenes. Because the empire of this reality is too big, it's too vast for one person to do it all. And it's like that all around the planet. It's always been like that. That's the Demiurge who created the archons, which is the institutions. Now we say it's the corporations that run stuff. But it's really not the corporations, because we're trapped into the money idea. It takes, this is where Sophia comes in. Sophia is so powerful. When you deal with knowledge and wisdom, it even goes beyond money. Because when you look at the pyramid that runs this creation, money is just a creation that man created. And it came about due to accounting. Yeah. To account for things. But it only goes halfway on the period. When you start dealing with, on the pyramid, when you start dealing with real knowledge, real true knowledge don't need money. That's child's play. To run this takes something else. That's why you read those things sometime where somebody who's rich, who want power, and they go to a being that got power, they don't say, give me $1 million or how much they cost. They'll say something like, I want your soul. I want your firstborn. This is somewhere else. This is big knowledge out here. And you are that knowledge. And we are so powerful. See, now let's bring it down to earth, how much power you got as an individual once you find out you're the Demiurge. We as a people are responsible for the institutions. You changed many policies in the past as groups of people. Money ain't had nothing to do with it. That's why we got a thing called a hero. Somebody who just wouldn't let it go, who looked at it through another eye, and then pretty soon it got bigger and bigger and bigger, stronger, 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 until it changed things. And even today, you see all these institutions change, shaken. Those are the archons shaken, because the Demiurge, which is the creators, which is us, is looking at it differently with a different eye. See, even this system, this modern day system that we in, do you know what it's called? It's called riding a white tiger. It only been in existence for a couple hundred years, 300 to 400 at max, compared to the other civilizations that was lasting for thousands of years. The same people are still behind the scenes, It just changed the names. The game is still the same. But this system is called riding a white tiger because that's the symbology. First of all, a white tiger is rare. And riding a white tiger, you know you just don't ride no tiger like that. A tiger will tear you up before the tiger becomes aware and knocks you off. So that's why this system is shaken on such a short period of time, and it's about to change over already because it was meant to change over real fast. All races had their time to rule. The black race ruled the planet before. The red race ruled the planet before. The yellow race ruled the planet before. And now the white race had its chance. Now it's shifting over again. Why the right tiger is over with. Now everybody's waking up is one. This is why the Breatharian knowledge is here. To show you that you're the demiurge. You're the small gods, the creator gods that must come together now and build what? The utopia that we always was talking about. This is just part of the experiment. You're Sophia. You are to bring it to apply true wisdom now. We did a lot of trial and error on where we know what will work and what will not work. You are pure consciousness. So the demiurge, stop blaming aliens and stuff now. You're the aliens. You're the ones that came into this world. That manifested it. You created the reality through your thoughts, through your mind. But you must change your perception because perception means everything. So again, this is Elitam Elamine. And here I am, it's pouring down rain now, but it's beautiful. And look, I'm still dry because I'm creating this. I'm the demiurge, just like you. You're the small gods. And let's bring it down to this. Just like Albert Pike of the Freemasons, who got a big history of bringing it to America and stuff like this. And he said, Satan is the god of this world. Now let's look at that word Satan. Now the source created all things, even Satan. It's responsible for it all. But Albert Pike, who knew the knowledge, says Satan is the god of this world. He don't mean it being evil. Satan is an angel, but we call him a fallen angel. That just means he lowered his vibration. It's talking about you and me. We're the gods of this world. You're creating it. You're responsible. Albert Pike was clear. We got satanic bodies, but you're still the angel. And a fallen angel don't mean good or bad. It just means you slow down. It don't mean good or bad. Now the fallen angel, it just means you slow down your vibration. So now as we get this knowledge now, and you're finding out that you are the demiurge, the small gods who are the big god. Because let me tell you something about the big god. It don't create nothing lower than itself. So this is the great wake up right here. You're Sophia. You have wisdom in you. You're the demiurge. You're Brahma. You're Yahweh. You're all of them combined. Those are just stories to bring us back into our fullness. And you are so powerful, you're a self-sustaining being. And you could go into perfect health, even to immortality itself. This is your world, your thought. It's up to what you want to create. Peace and blessings. Love you. Oh, there we go. Here we go. Here we go. Whoa. Nice and high.